So I kind of said the other day that I went to go do my training on Friday and it wasn't good in any real way. It was garbage, and physically, like, I feel great, I feel strong, I feel like I'm not fatigued, but mentally I was drained. And it's funny, on Thursday night I had this feeling like maybe I shouldn't wake up early, maybe I should just sleep in, I'll try to do it after work, maybe I should just shift and do my training Saturday and Sunday, which is what I ended up doing. But I didn't listen to that feeling, and usually I know better to, but I was like, I gotta stick to the schedule, I gotta do kind of as I plan, like I can wake up early, I don't need the extra sleep, when in reality, like looking at my past, say like 10 days, I probably hadn't gotten much more than 5 or 6 hours of sleep each night, which is not nearly enough, and I was like just drained, right? So Friday morning I woke up early. Don't usually work on Fridays. I switched today for Tuesday because I had to go somewhere on Tuesday and I was working on Friday instead. So woke up early. Brian got up with me. We went to the garage, started training. Nothing, like not even the bar felt good, but I kept going. I was supposed to work to a top single for snatch and for clean and jerk. And by the time I got to 75, I was like, this is it. I can't weightlift anymore. I suck. If I can't do 75, like what am I even doing? Because at this point, that shouldn't be like something that I wasn't even pulling. I was lifting it off the ground. I wasn't even going for it. So I was like, whatever, I'll just move on to clean and jerks. Okay, so already had a little bit of a breakdown. Already had probably thrown a couple of things, mostly like the barbell, not whipping, but like shoving it into the floor. Yeah, like that's embarrassing. Good thing I'm in my own garage. But I was just like, like I've been working so hard and I feel like my weightlifting has come since after Worlds when I started again, and I was excited to possibly hit some solid numbers in my weightlifting meet that's in a week, and this is my heavy day and I'm fucking it all up, essentially, right? Like, have you been there? You know, like that feeling, and I was like pissed. Typically, I don't get this mad in a typical training session. If I miss something, it's just like, whatever, move on. But the combination of the fact that mentally I was drained, like nothing left. I was so beat down before I even started the session that when I started the session and it didn't go well, I couldn't cope with that, okay? Started clean and jerk, felt pretty good, woo, going good, get up to 90 solid, get up to 95 solid. I tried to take 101 because I did 100 on the platform, so I was like, why not 101? And no, slam the bar down. Yeah, like what am I, 5? I'm like literally throwing a tantrum in the garage. And I was like, whatever, I'll move on to front squats. So I moved on to front squats and I was like, I feel strong, so I can front squat. Like, this is gonna be my saving grace. I just needed a win for the day and I can move on. I'll do this again tomorrow, right? So I started front squatting and I'm like, I feel pretty good. I'm supposed to work up to a 5 rep max. Cool. I threw a weight on the bar that I thought was something else looking back at it, because I do have a video for my top set, and I got like 2 and then I dropped the bar, and that's when I was just like, I'm done. You know, like I got nothing. Like maybe I should stop lifting. Like that's where I was at mentally. And like, yes, does that right now seem incredibly dramatic and like I'm 4 years old? Yeah, I was throwing a tantrum essentially. However, at the time, and I knew this in my head too, like I knew what was happening as it was happening, but it was like too far gone, right? Like I knew I was just so tired and that I didn't have a mechanism to cope. I couldn't even think. Like for me, weightlifting is pretty mentally tiring anyways, because I have to put a lot of thought into it to do it correct, especially if I'm going heavy. So the whole day I was just kind of like, whew, like had this heavy cloud over me essentially, not just from training, from life, from being exhausted, and that night I got home and I was like, maybe I should try now. Like, I feel okay. Maybe I should try again now. And I did actually start working my snatches, and I got to a point and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I feel like I might be, if I go forward right now, I'm gonna be banging my head against a wall. Let's wrap it up, call it a night. And I went to bed at like 8:30 p.m. Okay, 8:30 p.m. I slept, I set my alarm. I was like, I'm doing this in the morning. I don't care what happens. I don't care if it goes good, if it goes bad. I'm just gonna do it with a new mindset. I woke up Saturday morning at about 6:10. Saturday, I headed up to New Hampshire and did a little powerlifting clinic, and I knew it was gonna take me about 2.5 hours to get there, and I had to be there, you know, like 11:45-ish. So woke up early, gave myself plenty of time so I didn't have to rush. And I entered the garage gym with a new mindset. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I might not even snatch 70 today, but I'm gonna do it with a different mindset. I'm gonna do it on whatever, like, it happens. Everyone has a bad day, you move forward, you move on. It doesn't take away everything that you've learned. It doesn't take away your ability to do it, and it doesn't take away your strength. You can have a bad day. It can happen on the platform, it can happen in the gym. You gotta move forward. So anywho, I started warming up snatch, and I worked up to 78, which was, 75 felt good. Like, got that under, felt good, where the other day I wasn't even like going for it. I was just kind of like, almost like snatch deadlifting essentially. I wasn't even pulling. 75 felt good, 78 felt a little heavy, went for 80, didn't get 80, tried it a couple times. The catch was kind of sloppy. I was frustrated because I really, for some reason, wanted to hit 80, but at the same time, I was able to like collect my thoughts, move forward, and just say, all right, 80 is probably there, but it's not there today. Like, we gotta move forward because it's not gonna happen. And again, it's like beating my head into the wall. So I'm already in a little bit of a better mindset. I start clean and jerking. I hit the same exact numbers for clean and jerk, but again, I missed 101. I'm like, all right, let's move forward. You know what? Here's a win. That clean was strong. Like, I felt like I could, again, clean the world. And I've said that before, but even like, I just feel like I'm in a stronger position. I feel like the bar's a little bit closer to me, so I will be able to clean more weight as I can jerk it. And I feel like I was wimping out a little bit on the jerk, and whatever, I moved on. Got ready for squats, and I said, this is gonna be the W for the day. And it ended up being the W for the day. I made sure I loaded the bar right. I felt good under the bar, and I was mentally there to take it on. Why am I making this whole big ordeal? Why am I making this YouTube about my terrible, garbage, trash training session? For a couple reasons. That's Wally's ear. For a couple reasons. One, everyone's going to have them. No matter, it's kind of funny. Sometimes I'll post them on Instagram. I don't post them a ton because, like, yeah, it's cool every once in a while to see someone fail, but like, you don't want to see people fail. Like, let's be honest, I don't want to see you fail. Yes, I understand it happens, you know, but like, I want to see people succeed when I'm opening my Instagram. I respect people talking about their failures, and I respect people talking about their struggles, but I want to see people succeed. Shit, right? Like, that's awesome. There's peaks and valleys in training, and you've got to be able to go through the valleys to hit the peaks. The valleys for me are the hardest when I am mentally not there. Physically, I can handle it. If I'm hurt, I'll work around it. If I'm sore, I'll work through it. It doesn't bug me. But mentally, and it's usually when I'm exhausted and I have other things going on, I don't know how to cope well, and I know that the training day is not gonna go well and that I can't turn it around somehow. And that's what I struggle with. I don't know, everyone struggles with different things in training, so I don't know what, you know, you watching this possibly struggle with when you're training and how you have to turn that around. But the ability to forget about it, to show up the next day and to work your ass off the next day like that just never happened is key. If you have a bad meet, same thing. You worked your ass off for 16 weeks for one meet, whether it's 6 lifts if you're weightlifting or whether it's 9 attempts if you're powerlifting. It might not go as planned. That's life, right? So you need to figure out, that's what's gonna separate you from where you are now and where you want to go. It's not the good days. The PRs, they're fucking cool. And they're gonna come no matter what. And I don't care what it's a PR. And if it's a rep PR, if it's a weird exercise PR, like, you're gonna have those victories, and that's cool. But what are you gonna do when you have that step back? That's what you have to figure out in order to be successful over time. In order to hit your goals, you have to figure out how you're gonna overcome those little humps, because those little humps are just part of life, right? So I talked about on my Instagram a little bit the other day that I had planned to go to AO2. And I was very excited about it because there's some juggernaut weightlifters going. I've never met any of the weightlifters before. And like another opportunity to have Max coach me in weightlifting. I don't know why he asked, because I don't think the last time was probably too enjoyable for him, but appreciate it. Anywho, and the day Friday when I had the terrible training session, I was so tired. I said, Brian, I don't think I can go. And I was kind of upset about it, and I was having a lot of anxiety about it, not because it's a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal if I pull out of the meet, but because to me, I am a doer. If I say I'm gonna do something and then I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do it for any real good reason other than I'm tired, to me, that's kind of a failure. And that was hard to accept. Not the fact that, I'm not disappointing anybody. I'm not even disappointing myself, but the fact that I'm not gonna do something that I said I was going to do, I do not like. And I struggled with that in making the decision. I did find, luckily there's a local meet around here. I get to see some old weightlifting friends. I get to compete on the same day I was gonna compete. So all cool, all works out well. It allowed me to accept it a little bit more, but that was hard. However, since I did that, I kind of had one weight lifted off me. Because I was gonna fly out of Boston to Albuquerque Thursday night after work, compete Saturday, fly on the red eye home and go to work on Sunday. The next weekend we're doing a deadlift competition at my work that I'm partially responsible for kind of running. So I was just thinking of all of these variables that were happening, and I was thinking, when am I ever going to recuperate from this feeling of I'm on empty? And I hate the feeling of being on empty when it's not a physical feeling. When it's a physical feeling of, oh, I just need a deload, cool. This wasn't a feeling that a deload is gonna help me. I was at the end of my deload week, and in the lifts, they felt easy, but mentally I was still drained, okay? So just some food for thought, because it's something that's going to happen. I think that it's something that doesn't get talked about a ton. And again, I don't want to talk about it a ton. No one wants to talk about it a ton. They want to forget it. But I think that the thing that does need to be talked about is, okay, you have a bad day, you have a bad meet, you have a bad whatever. Where are you going to go from there? How are you going to turn around? So the take home from this whole spiel, if you're still here, is the next time that you have a bad training day and you don't know how to turn the training day around, it's okay to shut it down. Or maybe go in a totally different direction. Your training doesn't go well, maybe go for a walk. Maybe go take my dogs just looked at me. Maybe go take a yoga class. Maybe do a couple dumbbell exercises, right? Something totally different. But how are we gonna turn it around the next day? How are we gonna turn around the next week? How are we gonna start making, progressively having more positive days and not negative days? What do you need to change? For me, it was putting priority on my sleep, obviously. Friday night, going to bed. 8:39, going to bed. Saturday night, I work Sunday, Saturday night, same thing, in bed at 8:30. Tonight, I wake up at 4:10 on Monday mornings. I'm planning on being in bed by 9, right? Same thing Monday. This week, I've made the commitment to myself that I've got to figure out how to get shit done so that I can be in bed by that time. Even if I'm not asleep, at least I'll be starting the process earlier. What is it going to be for you? What can you fix to make your training better, to make those bad days better? How are you going to overcome that hurdle? Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week, turn into I hate this, I'm not doing it anymore. Figure out what you need to change and change it. Don't stress out about it. Everybody has bad days. It's what you do after that. Turn it all around.